People don't follow titles. People follow energy. Now, a title may give you authority on paper, but it doesn't automatically create trust, and it clearly doesn't create belief. Now, I've seen this happen time and time again. I've seen this happen on stages, in teams. I've seen this happen in a room full of crowded people. See, before people even process the words that you're saying, they're already feeling your energy. They're feeling your presence. They're feeling whether you're grounded, whether you're clear, whether you believe the words that you're saying or not, whether you have responsibility and character, or whether you avoid it. Now, this matters for leaders because leadership starts far beyond and way before strategy is explained. It starts in the way that you enter a room. It starts the way you listen, the way you respond under pressure. It starts in the way people experience you. So the real question is not, do I have the role? The real question is, what happens to people when you enter the room? Now that brings me to culture. And culture is not what you announce. Culture is what's tolerated. See, many organizations speak beautifully about values and purpose, teams, and even leadership. But the truth is, culture has never been defined by the writing on the wall. Culture has always been defined by the behavior within the room. What gets rewarded, what gets ignored, what gets excused, what gets repeated time and time again without consequence. Now that is culture. And why does this matter for leaders? Because people are always watching what normal is. Not what's written, not what's promised, but what's lived. So that means when bad behavior is tolerated for too long, then good people lose energy. And when they lose energy, standards fall, trust weakens. And eventually, the culture that you thought was saying one thing is now saying something totally different than what the company thought that it stood for. So, if you want strong culture, then you want more than just a strong slogan. You want strong standards. So in the entertainment world, a really good example for really bad energy and why it's so important is because when bad energy walks into the room in a rehearsal process, and I'm not just talking about the dancers and the actors and the singer and the star, I'm talking about the technicians and the lighting crew and the staff. That bad energy comes in, and bad energy is contagious. And what happens, it affects everyone. It affects everyone that's in that room, and the whole energy drops. So the magic that we were creating somehow dissipates. So what often needs to happen is when bad energy enters the room, we have to acknowledge it, we have to deal with it so we can change it immediately. Because bad energy spreads like a bad disease. It's really easy to break things down and to disrupt things, but it's a lot harder to build things up. And the sooner we get to it, the better. And that is your responsibility as a leader, because leadership is not comfort. Leadership is simply responsibility. Now, it's easy to ask others for clarity, for courage, for discipline, even for movement. It's much harder to embody those things on your own, but that's where leadership gets real. That's where the magic lies. Because before you move others, before you lead others, you have to lead yourself. Your own mindset, your own behavior, your own excuses, your own discipline, your willingness to move first. And that's also where the value lies for your people. So when leaders show clarity, people feel safer. When they live accountability, people trust more. When they move, others find direction. Now, people don't need perfect leaders, but they do need leaders that show up, that are real, that are present. So if you want movement in your company, on your team, in your department, movement must start with you first. Now, that's something that we dive into during the workshops. It's not the time to talk about that now. We'll come back to that later.